Today, Kevin and I are going to be trying this limited edition. This is the Flavors of Fall Coffee Collection. It was $14.99 at Fresh Market, and you can see there are 12 different types of coffee. They were not in this order. The pictures at the end, you will actually see the order they came in if you care at all. These are just the order that we're going to review them in. So I put them row by row what I wanted to review together. And so you see there's a vanilla nut, hazelnut cannoli, dulce de leche, salted caramel, chocolate swirl, chocolate raspberry, chocolate coconut, maple bacon, roasted chestnut, pumpkin spice, cinnamon hazelnut, and cinnamon bun. And Kevin and I really enjoy reviewing these, and they are they're distributed by Marketplace Brands in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. So that's all I can tell you about them, and that they're compatible with the Keurig and most single style brewers. So we're going to be reviewing these top 4 ones first, and we'll be right back. Okay, we have our 4 coffees, but the first four. But Kevin wants to explain to you about the process.
Yeah, these are not very fun. These are, first of all, we made these just like we always make our coffee. We put sweetener, creamer, 12 ounces. That's how we make our coffee in our Keurig. These have like a plastic top to them. I mean, a really tough, hard plastic, and a thick plastic. So when you put them in your Keurig, it's got a little spike that goes in the middle. For a single spike Keurig, it may work fine. Ours is the newer one that does the 5 holes, and it didn't work at all. The first one was the worst because I put it in there and it bent it downwards and it barely poked holes in it, and then I had to go in with a knife and cut the holes out. It's a very weak coffee. So that one
is light looking. I can see it's light.
It didn't get as strong because I literally had to do it twice to get it to do it. After I learned from the first one, from there on, I closed the lid, got the little dents, and had to take a knife and poke holes in it. It literally did not poke holes in the top. Well, it poked a little bitty hole in the middle, but none of the other 4 poked holes at all. So what happened was when you're running your first cup through there, it all just ran over into the little thing and spilled down. It was literally clear. It didn't have any coffee in it at all. So so just know that you may have to take a knife and poke holes in this to get them to work, because literally none of the 4 poked holes in them to where it would have worked on its own. I had to open it back up and poke holes in them. It literally wouldn't work.
So Kevin was doing a lot of cleaning, but we are used to buying K-cups that are an aluminum
top. They're like a little aluminum.
It's a little bitty tin aluminum top, and it punctures really easy.
Right through there.
So with these being plastic, it's just not a good design. And this is one of those videos where you're going to see us in 3 different outfits, or at least me. Kevin, maybe not, but because we're trying the 4 a day, and so it'll be a 3-day process. So the first one we're going to try is the vanilla nut, and just keep in mind this will be weaker than typical.
Yeah, once I learned to poke holes in it, these 3 were fine, although you shouldn't have to poke holes in it with a knife.
The last one of these that we did on the channel, a group of 12, was from a company called Magnum Exotics, and we found those in Marshall's. And I've told people over and over, I would totally buy the box again. You are paying a little bit more to get the 12 different flavors, but I haven't seen it since we first bought it, but I would buy it again because you're getting 12 different coffees, and it's just really neat.
Well, this one you're probably paying the same thing, like $15, and it's for 12 coffees.
But with it having these plastic lids, I can tell you right now, even just before even trying the coffee at all, I could tell you we would never buy this box again, even if these are stellar, because it made such a mess, and it was a lot of extra work just to make these.
I thought that first one was okay.
It was okay. You could taste the vanilla. I do think if it had been the full strength, it would have been better, but it was good, and I could tell it was flavored.
It almost tasted like vanilla ice cream that had been melted.
Yes, so that is good coffee.
That's good flavor.
This is the hazelnut cannoli. That, you taste hazelnut, but
Ooh, it's bitter.
yes, I was gonna say that. There is a harshness to it. It ends on like a, almost like a grit.
Just very bitter for me.
Yeah, it's very bitter. Yeah. So you get hazelnut, but that's not one that, I mean, it's not bad. It just tastes like cheap coffee.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
tastes
it really
cheap.
does. It comes across to me as cheap coffee, like you said. It's really the bitterness is not a good coffee bitter where you get like dark coffee or strong coffee. It's not that kind of bitter. It's just bitter. This one is the Dulce de Leche.
Yes. Once again, you taste Dulce de Leche, you taste the flavor, but there is a bitterness to it.
It tastes cheap.
There is yes. And the funny thing is we bought these at the Fresh Market. The Fresh Market is not a cheap store, but this tastes like cheap coffee.
It does, and it may not be, but it comes across that way.
This is
salted caramel.
Salted caramel.
It doesn't have that nice flavors that really like, ooh, that's a really good flavor. It comes across as this is.
Or most of the flavors, flavored coffee that we try, it's creamy and it tastes like a dessert in a cup. And it doesn't have any harshness to it.
Yeah.
That one, I didn't get it as much in that one, but it just leaves you with a funkiness, even in your nasal passages, because it does have a bitterness to it.
Yeah, this one I didn't get bitter. I got chemical.
Oh, okay.
Like an artificial flavor chemical, not like bleach or anything, but like a chemically
kind of like, for me, it was kind of like when you have maple syrup that has a
yes,
chemical.
exactly. It was exactly that kind of flavor. It comes across as this chemical, like
so
artificial
it's a salted
flavor.
caramel chemical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of these, honestly, the vanilla was the best.
The vanilla was the best, even though it was the lightest. Maybe it was a blessing that it.
I know. I thought that when we tried it, because it's like it's strong enough as it is. I can't imagine if it had been full force, because it might have been too much then.
Yeah. So we're not starting out on much of a positive note, but that's okay.
No.
We have 2 more days to go, and one of those days we're gonna have some with some bacon, so it might be really, really good.
Or really
Or really, really awful.
But I'm not letting the frustration of the cups ruin the flavor. I would have judged them equally.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
The cups are horrible, and I wouldn't buy them again. But the flavors, they're not all that great.
Even the coffee, yeah. So we'll be back in just a second with the next 4. Now we are going to be trying the chocolate swirl, chocolate raspberry,
chocolate coconut, and maple bacon.
And how did the process go? With
exact same. Yeah, I had to poke a hole in them. What I did this time, instead of taking them out and poking a hole in them, I stuck it in the Keurig, closed the lid, opened the lid, and took my knife while it was still in there and poked holes in it. It was a lot quicker.
I'm going to be careful from now on when I'm buying these sets. I'm going to try to, if it's shiny like this.
You can tell it's plastic.
You can tell it's plastic, and I won't buy them anymore. And that's a shame, but it needs to be that foil, you know? So this is going to be chocolate swirl.
Well, this is a really thick plastic, so I don't know. There may be other ones that are plastic like that work. It's just these don't.
It tastes very artificial.
Oh, like chemical, like
yes,
fakest chocolate flavor you could get.
Yes, I feel like I have just
licked a cleaner or something.
Yes, it's not like it would be like if you got one of those lip glosses that have the Tootsie Roll flavor, but it's in liquid form, and you drank that chemical. That's what it tastes like. Like a very chemical, artificial. I do not care for that at all.
Now, if you like that artificial chocolate flavor, you might love
this is the chocolate raspberry.
It does taste like all that one artificial chocolate flavor. So it does taste like it, but unfortunately, it's just not a good flavor.
I personally like this one much more because I can taste that raspberry, and the raspberry covers up for me, it covered up the artificial flavor of that chocolate.
Yeah, it's better. It still has a little bit of the artificial flavor, but it's not as bad, nearly as bad.
And it's very candy raspberry.
Yeah,
it's
not
sweet.
Bad.
Yeah, I like that. I could drink that one.
Yeah.
This is the chocolate coconut.
Yeah, the raspberry did somewhat taste like raspberry. Those.
And putting it up to my mouth, I could smell the coconut. I really like that one. That one reminds me of a candy bar with a coconut and chocolate combination.
Yeah, that one's nice.
That's
like that
delicious. Yeah, that's another.
And that one's very smooth. Sometimes they're kind of harsh. That one's pretty smooth.
Yeah, I actually, as much as I like the raspberry, I like the chocolate because it truly tastes like a chocolate and coconut, and I like that coconut more than the raspberry. And what's this one? Maple bacon. Ooh.
It's hot.
I don't smell bacon.
No, it's more maple. I think it's got a smoky maple kind of flavor, but it's not bad.
Oh.
The maple comes across as a little artificial chemical, just like some maple does. It comes across as a little bit of that, but you do get a little touch of smokiness in there.
I like it.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't get bacon. I think they probably put bacon on there just because.
You don't get a smoky,
very
That's
little.
what I'm saying, just a little touch of smoke.
It's mainly maple,
Yeah.
but I do like that.
It's not bad. I think maple comes across as artificial, that imitation maple flavor, but I don't really care for. So I wouldn't get it, but it's not bad.
The only one here that I do not like is the chocolate swirl.
Yeah, it's not
because
bad.
There's nothing to help it out. There's nothing to cover it up, and it's just too artificial for me.
Yeah. I do have to say the other three they do come across as a smooth coffee. Like some of the ones we had yesterday were kind of harsh.
Yes.
These aren't like that. They're smooth.
No, they're not. But I genuinely could buy a whole box of the chocolate coconut.
There's better brands out there.
There are better brands, but if I was to pick something if somebody said, "Hey, you can pick anything from this brand," that would be one that I could put my name behind.
If they weren't bad cups.
Oh yeah, they've got to get rid of these plastic things. I feel sorry for anybody.
It's like they never tried them out.
Yeah, truly. So tomorrow we'll be back to try the last four. Our last four flavors are roasted chestnut, cinnamon hazelnut,
cinnamon bun, and then pumpkin spice.
So roasted chestnut. How was the brew?
Exact same.
Okay.
One of them did puncture one hole when I closed it. One.
It tastes like a bitter coffee.
Yeah, it really doesn't taste like anything beyond just coffee.
There is a hint of chestnut in there. I mean, it's just like a splash of chestnut.
Tastes just more like coffee.
Yeah, it's a strong, cheap, bitter coffee. This is the cinnamon hazelnut.
This is the one Tammy smelled it, and she said that one smells good. So we'll see how it goes.
You really taste the cinnamon. The cinnamon comes through in that.
That one's not bad.
Honestly, though, the longer I'm sitting here talking, the more that cinnamon, it's like it's developing in my mouth as we go on. I don't care for that.
Yeah, it's okay. It comes across as a cheap coffee to me. It's
a harsh cinnamon. Yeah. It's a very harsh cinnamon. And it's amazing to me. I don't recall a coffee ever doing that. That the longer I'm sitting here, the more it's almost like affecting my tongue. It's like it's just harsh cinnamon.
But see, it's funny. I don't get hardly any cinnamon. I get all hazelnut.
There's a lot of hazelnut. There is a lot of hazelnut.
The cinnamon's like literally nothing.
I don't care for that one. This one is cinnamon bun.
But I still don't like it. It's got a bitter harshness to it's a really harsh coffee.
Oh boy.
It's rough. This is worse.
This one, it's completely different. This one,
definitely all cinnamon.
Because they called it cinnamon bun, they have tried to replicate that white frosting that you get on top of a cinnamon bun, and it is very, very, very sweet. But it's a sweet chemical flavor to me.
I get that a little bit. Although so far that's the best one out of the three. Not that that's saying a lot, but that's the best one.
I'd almost rather have the roasted chestnut. That harsh bitter than have that because it's chemical to me.
This is the last
one,
spice.
yeah, pumpkin spice. I'm glad I saved these for last. And that, you can tell that's pumpkin. Actually, out of the 4, that would be my choice. Yeah. Because the pumpkin spice is actually, you can tell exactly what it is.
And it's not overpowering.
No.
Or not artificial. It's actually seasoned.
But it is strong enough to tell exactly what it is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that was the best one.
We set it from the get-go, not even going by the flavors. This is a box.
It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. We have a Keurig. We've never ever had an issue with our Keurig working with any of these pods. Is that what you call them?
Pods.
We've never had an issue until this selection, and it is simply because they put plastic, that really tough plastic.
It's tough. I mean, it's hard to get a knife through when I'm poking a knife in there.
Yeah. So it's just the company is. It's distributed by Marketplace Brands in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. And I'm telling you that because this would not be one that I would get.
Yeah. Well, and I want to repeat, though, and I know it's only been like 30 seconds for you all. If it's a single spike K-cup, like the old ones, it may work fine. We don't have one to try it out. But the single spike in the middle, it did put a little dent, one little bitty hole in the middle. But it wasn't very big. It wasn't the full size. So just know that it may work fine for a single one.
Right.
But the one that we have, which is the newer, the 5-hole one, it just doesn't work.
Now, as far as going by, if we were not judging it at all, if you said, Tammy, I have the best K-cup maker in the world, I know it'll work on mine. I'm not worried about the plastic. Let's go on the flavor of the coffee. It ain't that great either.
No.
Our favorite one was the vanilla nut and the chocolate coconut.
And the pumpkin spice.
And the pumpkin spice. Those were our 3 favorites. Honestly, it just tastes like strong, cheap coffee. I still wouldn't get it.
No.
So even if we hadn't have had any trouble making them at all, this would not be one that I would get.
Yes. Count on, there's so many other ones that are so good you can
yes.
get.
If you can find that Magnum Exotics brand.
Awesome brand.
It is so good, and I have bought whole boxes now because I tried it this way and saw how much I loved these little cups. I have bought entire boxes of it now. It's such a great brand. If you see that collection, buy that. But I would avoid this one completely. So you're just gonna have to look and be careful with what you're buying out there. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.